Good morning, everyone. It is now 10:02, and I call this public hearing to order. So welcome everyone on TLC's proposed rule packages for today. One, making the flex fare an option for taxi drivers and passengers, and the other rule proposal demonstrating the agency's long-term commitment to accessibility for all New Yorkers. I am Commissioner David Doe, and I'm joined today by Commissioners Bader, Chan, Kaufman, Sorrentino, and Velasquez. And last but not least, I'm so happy to introduce our newest commissioner, Andrea Bierstein, who the City Council recently confirmed as the Commission's representative from Manhattan. Commissioner Bierstein is a longtime New Yorker who comes to us with extensive legal experience. That includes litigation, in which she successfully represented the City of New York, fighting for the people of our city, most recently recovering hundreds of millions from the opioid industry. She has also represented the New York City Transit Authority, suing manufacturers of defective buses and helping ensure our public transportation remains safe. We are so grateful to have her. Commissioner Bierstein, welcome aboard. I know the audience wants to meet you, so I'll yield the floor to you to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Doe. I just want to say I'm really excited about joining the TLC. I've been a long time, extremely amateur transportation geek, and it's very exciting to have a chance to be on this commission and to be able to participate in the policies that affect this important piece of our transportation infrastructure. And I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone of two very important things. The Wheelchair Accessible Vehicle Taxi Improvement Fund rule proposal we are discussing today is an amendment to our rules designed to promote more wheelchair accessible vehicles on the street. TLC is under a settlement agreement with the Taxis for All campaign that requires us to have 50% of the taxi fleet accessible, and yesterday there was a hearing in federal court on this. The TLC is now awaiting the decision from the federal judge as to whether we need to require that every taxi vehicle after retirement has to be replaced with a wheelchair accessible vehicle until we reach the required 50%. The pending decision will have a great impact on TLC programs and ramifications for the industry. As a result, the TLC won't hold a vote on these WAF TIF rules until the judge issues a decision. The second item is that 1 week from today, we'll be holding an accessibility drawing for individual alternative fuel medallions. Per TLC rules, the drawing will decide which individual alternative fuel medallions will be required to replace their current alternative medallion vehicle with one that is both alternative fuel and wheelchair accessible once their current vehicle is retired. The city is committed to both expanding its accessible taxi fleet and reducing carbon emissions. At the time the alternative fuel medallions were issued, there were no taxi-ready hybrid waves. And today there is. These medallions were issued under the condition that when and if a hybrid wave became available, they would be required to alternate between a wave and non-wave, just like the rest of the taxi fleet. Hybrid waves have expanded significantly since then and will be gradually mainstreaming this process, kicking it off with these drawings. Specifically, this drawing is limited to alternative fuel independent medallions with vehicles scheduled to retire between January 1st, 2025 and June 30th, 2025, or that otherwise need to be replaced a new vehicle into service. 21 out of 41 medallions will be randomly drawn. Those medallions selected in the May 15, 2024 drawing must place vehicles that are both alternative fuel and wheelchair accessible into service when their current vehicle is retired, or if the vehicle is changed for any reason after the accessibility drawing date of May 15th. Drawings for the alternative fuel independent medallion with later retirements will be scheduled at a future date. For a list of specific medallions going into this lottery, please refer to Industry Notice 24-04 on the Industry Notice page of the TLC website. Now on to our hearing. For both of our rule proposals, the notice to comment on the proposed rule was published in the City Record on April 8th, 2024, and the comment period ends today. We are not voting on the rules today. Our first proposal would make the FlexFare pilot program permanent, offering yellow taxi cab passengers the same price certainty as for-hire vehicle passengers. James DiGiovanni, our Deputy Commissioner for Policy and Community Affairs, has a short presentation on the FlexFare rule proposal and can answer any questions. James? I think everyone does as well. All right, we're now going on to our next rule package. Our second proposal concerns amendments to our rules designed to promote more wheelchair accessible taxis and for-hire vehicles on the street. We had a hearing on this earlier, last year on November 29, 2023. We received many comments from the industry stakeholders and staff, and after careful review, we updated the proposal, and we're now holding a new hearing so that we can hear from all of you. This rule package would reapportion the TIF allocations to provide a 43% increase in the initial disbursement for hack-up costs to place a wheelchair accessible vehicle into service as a taxi. We will provide upfront grant payments of up to $20,000 to independent owners of up to 2 medallions to help them purchase a wheelchair accessible vehicle. For all other medallion holders, we will continue to provide reimbursement after putting a wave in service if you fit the parameters of the grant program. To keep more wheelchair accessible taxis on the road, we will no longer have vehicle retirement dates for both new waves placed into service and currently licensed accessible taxi cabs. We will also permit the conversion of used vehicles to wheelchair accessible vehicles in accordance with the TLC's proposed criteria for used vehicle conversion. We will clarify TLC's rehacking rules to ensure that medallions eligible for rehacking new vehicles adhere to TLC's existing accessible requirements. We will require TLC drivers to take a TLC-approved course upon substantiated complaints that the driver is violating their duties to passengers using wheelchair accessible vehicles. And we will create consistency among the industry sectors by requiring accessible FHVs to meet the same ADA standards that are required for taxi cabs. Now on to our hearing. For both of the